No, your girl's not a runner. No big deal. We're going to France, y'all, and I'm packing and we're gonna get ready together. And you might be wondering, Angela, are you going to France for business or for pleasure? Believe it or not, I'm actually going because I got a brand deal with a running company. Yes, you also might be like, Angela, you're not really a runner, so how the hell did you get this? So let's talk about it as I get ready. Also, do you think should I bring the beret with me? Oui, oui, bonjour, au revoir. Okay, we're not gonna bring it. Well, we're still gonna bring it. I don't know if I'm gonna wear it, but we'll see. Okay, so before we talk about how I got this brand ship, I wanna dive into a little bit about my relationship with running. Because for some of you on my pages, I know you see that I help tons of women get their first pull-up. And for a lot of women, they have a lot of those same thoughts that I have about running for getting their pull-up. So let's dive into where this even started. So for me, it also started when I took the National Presidential Fitness Tests we used to do in elementary school. If you're listening to this, do you remember that? It was a series of exercises that you would do, one of them being the mile run, another being a flex arm hang for your pull-ups. We did like a shuttle run, a sit and reach, and all this fun stuff. And being an athlete and being a gymnast, I was pretty much able to nail all of them. Like I was able to crush all of them, except, you guessed it, the 1 mile run. And I didn't really understand because everybody around me, people who weren't even as athletic as me, were crushing the mile run. So I felt kind of weak. But if you know anything about me, you know that I'm super determined. So I decided to skip lunch pretty much every single day to try this mile run outside over and over and over again because I was determined to not have the national tests, but I wanted to be a part of the presidential fitness test and everything else except for the mile. And each time I would go into lunch, I mean, there were some days where it got like a little bit better, but I was still basically having like a 10-minute mile. And I think I needed to get like an 8-minute or an 8:30 or something. Was I full of determination? Yes. But every single time that I would go out there and I would run, I would feel so heavy on my feet. I'd feel out of breath and I would just like lose it towards like at least the third lap. I'd be like donezo. So that's where my relationship started with running. It was this idea that even though I tried really hard, even though I went into work on this every single day during lunchtime, I just wasn't getting better at it. So I felt like maybe for some reason it wasn't for me. You know, maybe I'm just too short for this. Maybe I'm just like not built for running. And maybe you feel that way too about something else. It may not be running, but maybe it's another skill, or maybe it's just something else that you're doing in your life, right? So it's pretty ironic after all this time that I just got asked to go on a trip for a run shoe called Kiprun. And what's wild is that the world kind of works in mysterious ways because a few months back, I started working with my friend that I met in the dog park, and he's like an expert at helping people get better at not running, sprinting. So him and I have been training every single week, and what he does is he videos my sprint, and he's videoed the first sprint that I ever did, and he showed it to me, and then he broke it all down and he showed me the different areas that I can make improvements on. And what I started to realize is that just like a pull-up, a sprint, and even a run is actually a skill. And in order to get better at it, just like you're doing a pull-up, you need to work on the different components so that it works simultaneously together. He taught me about foot positioning. He showed me how my heel was striking the ground. And a lot of these reasons were the reasons why I was feeling so heavy on my runs and why I felt like I was going nowhere and felt like I was never improving because I was just being told to kind of just like go out and run, right? But no one was truly breaking it down for me. And as a former gymnast, when I can see that something is a skill, it starts to click. And within a couple of weeks, I was getting so much better. So it's pretty crazy how everything comes together. And now I'm going to Kiprun to check out their headquarters and hear all about their shoes and their mission and things like that. One of the things that really stood out to me about Kiprun is that I personally live in Austin, Texas. And I don't know about you or where you live and where you're watching from, but there's a lot of run clubs everywhere. And people will always invite me to the run clubs because they assume, you know, I'm a gymnast. I'm a former ninja warrior. Like, oh, Angela, you must be really good at running and you'll be really athletic. But there's been times where I've gone to the run clubs and I didn't really feel that welcomed. No, I'm sure it wasn't them, but it was more of me. And when we would go to run, I was always in the back of the line. I just felt like everybody was so competitive against each other and it felt a little uncomfortable. And what I love so much about Kiprun is that they're trying to make running and they want to make running more inclusive, to tell people like, No, you can go out and you can go have that run. It doesn't need to feel, you don't need to feel bad if you're new at it. You can walk if you want to, but just to get outside and get doing things and to be involved in community. Somehow I was able to get all that packing done and it was off to France. And we're off. Au revoir. Can you teach me some French phrases that have to do with running?
Bien sûr. Here are some French phrases related to running. Je vais faire un footing. I'm going for a run.
Je vais faire un footing.
Très bien. Je vais faire un footing signifie I'm going for a run. It's a common and casual way to say you're heading out for a jog. Keep practicing and you'll be fluent in no time.
Je vais faire un footing.
Parfait. That's a great way to say it. Keep it up and soon you'll be able to chat about your runs effortlessly in French.
How do I say I'm not really a runner?
You can say je ne suis pas vraiment un coureur for a male or je ne suis pas vraiment une coureuse for a female. It means I'm not really a runner. This phrase can help you express that running isn't your main thing.
Je ne suis pas vraiment une coureuse. Can you say it again for a female?
Bien sûr. For a female, you would say je ne suis pas vraiment une coureuse.
Une coureuse. And poof, we were off and we were here in Paris. And then I got to meet the very man himself, Rich Hernandez. Now, this guy is basically a real-life superhero of push-ups. Rich is known online as the push-up guy, the founder of Do Hard Things 365, and he's built a massive following by pushing the limits of human endurance, doing things like thousands of push-ups in a single session and training for over 10,000 unbroken push-ups. His whole philosophy, do hard things every single day. So naturally, when the push-up guy meets the pull-up girl, of course, we unite, we push, we pull, and we also run. We took a train an hour north to Lille, France. The train was honestly so cute. I felt like I was in Harry Potter for some reason. Okay, so I made it to Lille. We're actually we're not even gonna walk to this spot. We're gonna do push-ups down the whole way.
Bear crawls.
Bear crawl, let's go! Since he's really strong and everything, we're gonna let him carry it. Oh. The hotel was so cute and artsy, and when I got in, I had all the gear laid out from Kiprun, and I was super excited to start this journey to maybe liking running? Question mark? Possibly? Transparently, I woke up and oh my goodness, the jet lag. I was unwell, but the first thing I had to do is have a croissant because we are in France and I wanted all the pastries. And then we headed up to we're at Kiprun. There we've got the whole crew here. All the different shoes. Oh, I like those ones. More shoes. So in the morning, we got to meet the CEO of Kip Running, the CMO, and the entire team, and learn more about the concept and where Kip Running even came from. Like, what does Kip Run even mean? And the name stemmed from when someone saw the sign that said literally keep running at one of the marathons. They saw that sign everywhere they went and they kept hearing in the back of their head, Kip Run, Kip Run, Kip Run. And I think that was such a powerful message. And they want running to be accessible for everyone and anyone. So when it comes to designing a shoe that is not only high quality, but affordable and looks good and is going to be helpful for your running, this is what we did is we went back to learn all about how they do that. Let me tell you something, there is so much more involved than I even imagined. Even just like cutting out the material like this machine is showing here, and also even how to put the actual rubber bottom on the shoe and the concept of how to do that so that the sole maybe won't fall off. So there's lots of different concepts and things that we learned as we went through, and just the sheer quality and the time they put into this, different iterations of the shoe. I mean, sometimes I think we forget about things like a shoe and how it's created, and we think it's just kind of like poof, came out of nowhere. But this is a year or two in process, in the making, to create something high quality. Here's some examples of some random ones they were creating or some fun test ones and models that they had. And not only that, focusing on the material they're using, like for this foam here, and how they can also make sure that it's going to be something that will be okay for the environment as well. So testing different types of foam and how that's created and the stiffness of it and things like that. So this way the shoe can be recycled and biodegradable and all those different things. And even in using a machine like this, which is going to completely pump out the shoe and see if the foam lasts and how long that shoe is going to last. So this way people have high quality. Okay. I want you to tell me a French phrase that has to do with running. And
That has to do with the running on.
yeah, like maybe like I want to go running.
Je veux aller courir.
Je veux
Je veux aller courir.
aller courir.
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 Yeah.
It's
running,
courir, running.
running is courir.
Courir.
Yeah.
Okay. Say that again. Do it again.
Courir.
Courir. Yeah, but the whole day. I want to go running.
Je veux aller
aller
courir.
courir.
I want go running.
Running. Can't keep up.
J'en peux plus.
J'en peux
J'en peux plus.
J'en peux plus. J'en peux plus. J'en peux plus.
Means I'm dying.
I'm dying. Okay. Okay, now it was time to put these shoes to the test. They actually gave me carbon-plated shoes, and I didn't realize that you probably should not be wearing carbon-plated shoes for running on cobblestone. So this run was very interesting and a learning process. I highly recommend using the everyday one for the cobblestone. No, your girl's not a runner, but we're trying.
Do hard things.
Do hard things. How do you say I want to run faster?
Je voudrais courir plus vite.
Je la pourrais
Courir
plus
vite.
fully. Walker.
A what?
A power walker. Like fast walker. Brisk walker.
Je voudrais
Je voulais. Je voulais.
être une marcheuse rapide.
What does that mean?
A fast walk.
Oh my goodness. Okay, another really cool thing about the Kiprun team is that every day at like 11:45, the entire team goes out to run on the track, including the CEO. They take that 1 hour of their time to go out there and to run. And so we got to experience that and be a part of the team when we did it. Finally, the third creator in our group showed up, Raymond Brand. He was no big deal, just corresponding at the Olympics, and he truly had some of my favorite interviews. He really brings out the real human side of performance and also learn a little bit more about how epic he is. And of course, we got to run and hang together. Hey, running with the Raymond Brand. Woo! Rich over here. We're just biceps.
Let's go.
Okay, coolest thing. Tell me something really cool that you've done before.
I did something called the World Triathlon Challenge, which was 7 triathlons, 7 continents, 7 consecutive days.
No big deal. Rich, tell us something cool that you've done.
Something slightly less impressive. I can do 4,000 push-ups in a set. I'm going to try to break the world record this year, 10,507.
You're going to.
I mean, come on, who am I running with? Being united with such amazing humans just was a reminder that there's so many amazing people out there who are helping the world, who are encouraging the world, and really pushing everyone to be better. So I'm just really grateful that I got to spend a lot of time with them and Kiprun. I have to say this final day was probably my most favorite day. You know, being a former biochemist, I love this techie type stuff. And today what we were doing is testing out 2 types of shoes from Kiprun, one being the regular everyday shoe and the other being the carbon plated shoe, and really testing out to see what the difference is. Like, what does that even do? So stretched it out. Rich and I got ready, and then we hopped on with this intimidating mask on and did a nice run. First, doing it for a steady pace. I had to do it for about 13 minutes to get myself at a steady pace, and then to really track, how my strides were, how I was feeling as I was going through this, so that you can really get an idea of like what these different shoes truly do and how they can affect your running. Then I switched over to the carbon plate, had to do the same thing again. I know a lot of running, but it was really cool to see that even with this short distance of running, and even though I wasn't going super fast, the carbon plate did in fact make me faster, which is kind of crazy, but really cool to try both of the shoes out. Then we also got to see a lot more about how they even do custom shoes and, can really actually scan a person's actual foot to really create different types of shoes, or even if they're doing clothing. So we got to kind of go back there and see the whole process of that, which I thought was really, really fascinating and cool, all this cool technology that they have. This was really cool. It was like a body scanner where it will scan your entire body, get your measurements, all the things right there in case they want to do fittings for like bras or whatever it might be. But I just thought all this stuff was really cool because, again, I think we take a lot of this stuff for granted and that we don't really think about all that goes into creating a good product, whether it be for a shoe, whether it be for clothing, not only designing the material, but also the next steps of it. To bring it back to where we started off, running has always intimidated me. I'm the pull-up girl. I'm the ninja, right? I'm the gymnast. I'm not the runner. And running has always been that thing that's been my corner that I just felt like I could never be good at. But this Kiprun trip completely shifted something for me. Because at the root of anything that you're doing, pull-ups, business, keynote speaking, relationships, any goal, there's always a foundation, right? A starting point. And all of it is skills that can, in fact, be learned. And yes, it might feel intimidating. Yes, maybe you tried it before and it didn't go as planned. But what if it all goes right? What if leaning into this skill that scares you is the thing that actually really takes you to the next level in your life? For me, by the end of this trip, not only did I have a deeper appreciation for running, I gained appreciation for the community that is behind it, which is massive right now. And also the incredible amount of work that goes into creating a shoe that actually truly supports you. Now, probably the question is, Angela, are you still a little fearful of running? And honestly, the answer is yes. I'm still fearful of running. Will I be running a marathon anytime soon? I'm gonna have to say no. But I will say this, I found a whole new respect for the sport and maybe a little bit of love for actual running. So you might just see me out on that trail a bit more with my Kiprun shoes on.